Hey everyone, welcome back. It is Lucid and we are back. We have our big battle after sitting around, picking our noses, doing nothing. We are fighting now. We've got our battle in Atlantis and let's see what it holds for us. Now, before the battle starts, I just want you to notice that everybody is fucking gone. Like, no! Prepared so much for this. And the god is gone. I guess he saw so many troops, he's like, fuck this shit, we're out of here. Peace. Peace, motherfuckers, we're going. Yeah, shit. So, anyway, nevertheless, there's a boatload of PD in Cold 3. So, without further ado, let us get to it. All right, so yeah, we won, but it actually was kind of a Pyrrhic victory. We didn't kill the god, we didn't kill the army. We lost just as much stuff as if we would have killed the god and killed the army. And guess how many the PD killed? They killed 3 of our dudes. We lost 19 Melee Drazina. That's like $800, just friendly fire. They're in the Bakemono. We're at right at 1,000. The nice thing is with the reinvigoration, and I didn't show it, but our communion got kind of close to burning out, but it didn't. I think we got up to like 150 fatigue on our slaves. So, and if we got into the point where we were burning hit points, it was like 2 rounds left or something till they died. I mean, it was they're gonna die. So, you know, that's a thing. The other thing was we found a magic site. Pretty cool. Tar pits. +1 fire. Very good. We're up to 3 fire income, I think, now. So that's nice. And that's why specifically we're searching with the Staretza is their fire 2. They're our only fire 2. And we care a lot about getting fire sites. That said, Staretza, all Staretza out there, I just want you to know, you are allowed to find things other than fire sites. You can find some air and astral sites too. And, you know, just finding 2 fire sites, don't think that that's all I expect from you. You know, like, you can do better than this. Because we've site searched now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 provinces with fire 2. We got 2 fire 1s. I guess that's fine, but I don't know. We've searched some more too for lower fire, like this one. I don't know which other ones. Anyway, these 2 we've searched with this one we've searched with a bit of fire. So, yeah. That is what has happened over here. Now, Atlantis, when they dodged us, they didn't hide in the fort, which when I first saw the battle, I was like, because I don't want to, you know, when I do this, I try not to spoil it for you guys how the fights are going to go. I also try not to spoil it for me when I first watch the turn, because I like, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but when I played minions, how there's so much tension and excitement built up about how a battle is going to unfold that I don't want to have it cheated away from me by, you know, seeing how it's going to turn out. I like to take the full roller coaster ride watching the battle play out. So anyway, when I saw it, I was assuming they were hiding in their fort, and they're not. The little frog men went with their god down here in the lake. And this is annoying for many reasons. One is because I would have just killed them all for basically the same price as I paid to kill all the PD. 2 is that, well, now they have several options, all of which are going to be very vexing. One of the vexing options is they just sit here and they build a fort if they have enough money for it. That would be extremely vexing. The other option, which would also be vexing, and this would come after the first thing I mentioned, the fort building, no matter what, is that they start raiding stuff like raid here and raid here, and that would also be very annoying, and it would slow down my timing into my next war. Which I don't want to be the late one to this fight, but we'll see. So, yeah. That's basically what's happening. Trying to think what else. So I think that's basically it for my turn. We'll look at research per turn. We're up at 351, which is not great, but not horrible. It does mean we'll be finishing Enchantment 5 reasonably soon. I think we go up to Enchantment 6. Enchantment 6 is... Like, for our next fight, having Aerofend would be super nice. That way I don't pulverize. Even, I mean, honestly, even for storming the fort... Do I have anybody here who's an air random? Even for storming the fort... Wait, no, but it's going to be a while before I get 6. I have to get 5 and then I have to get 6. Okay, so never mind that. This fort we're not going to do with Aerofend. I think there's also... I don't think this is whole arm... Oh, no, it probably is. It's 60. I also don't have flaming arrows for the upcoming fight. I don't think that's going to matter. I think we have enough crossbows and stuff that we're still going to mess them up pretty fierce. And smites and all of this jazz. I think they just don't have enough stuff. The 60 things is not enough. This was like 160, and you can see it kind of... Or 180, and it kind of melted. But yeah, we're also... Apparently, I forgot... He made a fire elemental at the end, which was extra bad because it could have fatigued my dudes out. But it also means he wasn't on conservative gem use. And so I gave him 4 fire gems so he'd have enough fire gems to storm the next turn. And of course, that didn't happen. What I need to do... I've got this guy... Wait, where are my fire gems? Oh, this guy's coming in with more. So that's good. I thought ahead a little bit. Anyway, that's basically what's happening on in my part of the world. However, there is drama a-brewing over in this part of the world, and I want to spend probably most of the episode talking about this. Importantly, the monkeys look like they're holding their own, and they have switched up their recruitment to have stuff that's going to be very effective against the elves. Because the elves are going to disrespect... It's kind of funny, Marilyn and I were talking about... Because sometimes we'll ramble on after one of the tournament recordings. We were, just talking about what would work versus the monkeys and what wouldn't. And I think he was telling me they had a bunch of these big dudes. And I was like, yeah, you guys will ruin those. But if they have a bunch of crossbows and Marcata, you're going to be in trouble. And of course, I didn't tell Patala. I mean, I'm not really taking sides. If anything, it's probably in my best interest if Patala slowly wins. But I can't affect what's in my best interest, right? That's not me having a favorite or playing sides or anything like that. I'm just stating kind of what maybe is a fact. It's my perception of what would be in my best interest. But I'm not going to play one side off the other. So anyway, Maryland's told me that how they're doing, and I don't know if there was a lot of counter rating, but to me, so we didn't see fights where the monkeys are. So we know these stacks didn't kill anything, but these stacks look like they would be very efficient at killing elves. And if you're going to attack these with elves, you probably need a tremendous number of elves so that the fight goes down quickly. And furthermore, there's some problems even with attacking with a lot of elves, which is when you start bringing a lot of elves into the same spot, he has a larger blast, so you can't pack them as densely, which means, there's going to be 6 Bakemono show here for every elf. It's kind of a big deal. Now, that being said, the elves are up in land. The monkeys are in a slightly desperate spot. They've got 2 things in their cap circle at least taken. I don't know if he's gone back here. But it's pretty interesting watching this conflict develop. And the other thing too, the elves aren't very big. When you look at like all their land holdings, it's not terribly huge. Like, they have a completely unfavorable border with Arco. And they have a mostly unfavorable border with me. If I had taken this other province, it would be completely, but I left this for them to take for like 8 turns after I could have taken it. So they're not terribly big. However, they are in their cap circle, right? And they have the ability to PD dump. Now, the bigger you are, the easier it is for you to afford PD dumps and whatnot. But elves plus PD are going to do these are not armies like garbage type armies, which is what I would call these. These are mostly kind of like piles of garbage. They're effective garbage against elves, I want to say that, but they're not necessarily the same thing that's super effective against a lot of PD. So one thing I would be looking at, and I haven't, and I probably won't talk to Maryland about this, but one thing I would look at is like, we have a province they're definitely going to need. It's this farmland. I mean, this, sorry, I woke up from a little nap, just had a yawn. This forest here, you know, PD dump it and support it by a bunch of elves. And be like, bring everybody you got, Patala. I don't care. I'll fight you. But then, you know, Patala can ignore it. And I think this is a heat mountain pass, so I think they can just wander through here. And raid this province, which is I think it's a large mountain, so it's going to be about 10,000 people. Anyway, that's happening up here. This is a pretty interesting war. I've got actually, because Agrippa's on my team making me make scouts. We've got some scouts out. We're trying to catch some of the action. We don't have a lot of scouts. We only have a couple, so we'll have to get lucky. So that's that. Down here, there was major developments, and maybe you can tell that some of this, which has a Kalen flag on it, didn't used to. And that is because there has been a great birding. And Kalem is attacking through a diagonal into Raga, which for a lot of nations is not a good idea. However, Kalem is one. If you were a flying nation, you do not get made fun of by me for attacking through a diagonal. And the reason is most nations, if you take land through a diagonal, it's very hard for you to hold because logistics, it's really hard. It's going to take a long time for you to get troops in, etc. Reinforced with mages, all these things are going to take a long time. Now, with Kalem, it's true. It will take longer than it otherwise would if you were attacking through a horizontal or a vertical. But, I mean, for another nation, it can be like 6 turns or something to reinforce through a diagonal. For Kalem, it's probably like 2 or 3, which is not that bad. So he's going after Raga. I actually knew this was happening, and because I just talk with everybody, and if you talk with people, you shouldn't share what they tell you, and so I haven't shared it. But I've talked with everybody. So I've talked with Raga, I've talked with Kalem. So I knew this was happening, but I'm not gonna spoil anybody's plans because that would be very rude. Even though I like the Raga player and I like the Kalem players. So anyway, I knew this was happening. I didn't know anything about how they would do it or what their approach would be really. I think they were asking me like what units would be good in the matchup. And I was like, probably the Raven Guard, because if you get Strength of Giants on them and you can surround Zayedans, they will be able to kill them. But I didn't know what they would do, and they actually had a pretty ingenious plan. What they did was they have, first of all, I think they have set up a way to trace income from all their ratings. So I think they have this, and maybe this. I'm not exactly sure how they've set all this up. But what I do know from Raga is that they have taken his whole cap circle with these little small raiding squads of 10 Raven Guard, which seems super efficient. I'm really digging this. There's so many things that this game already, I'm like, oh man, I want to try this station. I want to try this one. But guys, think about it. What is the only thing worse than an elf? It's a bird elf. That's literally the only thing. Except maybe a squid elf, but those don't exist. A bird elf? I mean, guys. And it's a bird dual-wielding elf. I mean, look at these guys, these Raven Guard. Now, they don't hit super hard, but they're very killy. What does that mean? It means if they're running into things that have a lot of protection, they're in a bit of trouble. They're running into things like Zayedans. However, with the multiple attacks, they will harass down the Zayedans pretty quickly. And a lot of the Zayedan defense is built on having pretty good, like, they're their overall defense package, not their defense skill, is built on having, you know, a shield that they can use to block, and that's going to give them a good defense score. They don't want everything doing that protection check. But if you get... These guys without Strength of Giants probably can't kill Zaedans, but if you get Strength of Giants on them, and you get a good surround on the Zaedans, I think they're going to trade pretty well, like gold for gold with Zaedans. But apparently, and I guess I figured maybe, but apparently they make excellent raiders too. Like, there's no reason to think they wouldn't exactly, but yeah, damn, he's just been extremely reliable, it seems, with like 10 or 15 taking a province out. So anyway, props to him for having a great birding this early in the game, because these guys have been severely birded. The question with Kalem is how are they going to take infrastructure and like hard targets? Because Kalem birds are normally very good at taking soft targets, you know, like all this undefended land. But how do they kill armies? How are they going to kill forts? Normally for that, the answer is air elementals. So we'll see. Problems with this, though, are that if they eat Raga, that's basically going to include eating Joman, and then they're going to be the biggest. And one thing I will say is you never want the biggest player in your game to be a bird, because birds are so goddamn fast. Like, their speed on the map is ridiculous, and the game state against birds can spiral out of control very, 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 very fast. And the way, in my opinion, you play a bird is you let your air gems kind of bank up, and then once you're ready, you go eat the next one or two players, and you spend a ton of air gems doing it. Now, Kalem, late age Kalem has a lot of things they can do. Like, they can do Wailing Winds, they can do a lot of death stuff, they can do some earth stuff too, they have thugging they can do. There's a lot of things they can do, but just the basic birding, you know, air elementals and birds is pretty frightening. And you really, I think any of the bird nations, if they start getting too big, you get in trouble. Like, they can throne rush, they can eat two players, and now all of a sudden they're big enough to hold off any coalition. It can just be really brutal. Now, Raga is a kind of a bird nation too. They make heavy cav if they're heat, and they make birds if they're cold. Maybe they have some birds too they can make in the heat, but this is going to be a bit of an existential crisis for Raga, and I don't know if they can hold it together. And importantly, and I didn't mention this, but when they surrounded Raga's cap circle, they have stripped his ability to take any income, trace any income from any of his lands, because he had another place which had a fort going up, and they squished that. So now his only other fort coming up, which, by the way, that's a pretty late fort timing, but that kind of jives with what I know about Raga. Like, Raga is a very slow infrastructure kind of place. However, you know, their only fort going up is now squished. They're down to just their cap, which has been isolated from the rest of their land, so they can't trace any income. So they asked us if they could buy some of our gold with gems. And I gave them a rate of 25. I mean, first of all, with me, you can generally trade anything. The question is the rate fine? And in this particular situation, I don't want to charge a crazy rate. I want to charge him as fair a rate as I can. I mean, by fair, I mean like as beneficial to him as I can afford. Just because I don't really... I mean, I'm happy if Kalem like slowly wins the war. I don't want to be next to a 3-cap Kalem. Kalem is probably the neighbor I'm least excited... I mean, except for Arco, I guess. But even then, I would... If Kalem gets 3 caps, I might not be able to go to war against Arco. It might be we have to turn on the birds, and I could get probably TNC to do that with me. But you cannot have a super huge bird empire. And it could be I get the birds to trade a bit of land or something. I don't know. But, yeah, the birds... I intend to have a long peace with them. However, I don't want a 3-cap neighbor birds near me. I will have to not let that happen. But I have to think about it too, because it's a horrible goddamn matchup. Maybe I rush to Fog Warriors and then I can kind of fight the birds a little bit. You know, at least the air elementals will only be able to trample the dudes that are near them. I mean, that haven't been poked by birds' pointy sticks yet. God, I hate fighting the birds, though. I will hate it. The more I think about it, the more I should figure out ways to support Raga. I mean, fighting birds with Bogarus would be horrible. It'd be absolutely horrible. I think we could do it, but it is not going to involve me doing things I want to do. It's going to be involving things I have to do. You know, like, we're going to lose a lot of mages. We're probably going to have to summon a lot of horrors. Some of those horrors will definitely eat our own dudes. Yeah. I'm going to have to get Blood Hunting going either way. So anyway, very interesting movement over here. The other thing that's kind of interesting is I believe Arco has vultured this throne off of Ulm. I don't know the other situation. I need to find other details on Ulm. I think somebody else is planning on attacking him. I can't remember who they are. But yeah. I guess we'll go through a few of the logistics for this turn. So this army, we have 470 siege strength on this fort. And this fort is 750. Now, if you figure there's about 40 siege defense inside, which is my guess, then... Oh, did he move his Tungalix and stuff here? Probably not. So, if you figure that's about how much stuff is inside, then this would basically be at, I think it's around 315 for wall stuff, wall integrity left. And then if you add on to that the 40 guesstimated siege defense inside, that would mean that we need about 355 or something siege strength. So I actually can move some of these guys out. And I think now with the PD gone, and I might be a goddamn sweaty tryhard and test this, but I think with the PD gone, I think it makes sense to like basically bring a bunch of the heavy cav. Like so. And just have them go knife things. Because I think, here's what I think. I think he knows I don't want to get off his capital. He could come YOLO in, but then I just have to fight him and a few mages, which I think is pretty trivial, though I could be wrong. And we're also preaching this turn, so it's not even going to be friendly Dominion for him. And then, so anyway, that's an option. He could just sit here. What I think he's going to do, what I would do if I were him, is I would start raiding this shit back for me. Because he knows I don't want to leave this. And so because he knows that, it makes me want to leave it. If I were him, I would send a small force maybe down here, and a small force, and the god and a force up here. That's probably what I would do. And... yeah, so we need to send something that can potentially kill the god in six friendly candles, which is kind of a lot of friendly candles. So I'm thinking it's just a boatload of guys with lances. And then maybe I don't think we take that many of the crossbows. And I thought about, maybe do I move a mage in here? Does that make sense? I don't really think so. I think we kind of chill. But this guy too will be pretty good at killing the god. So I'm thinking we take like this guy and move him over here and do like maybe like attack rear, and that way the PD isn't all completely dead. Maybe we put these guys in front of the PD so the PD can just fill in the gaps and stuff later rather than all just die. But I think this would work even against like a 60 is a lot. I might need some more fire support for this. I mean, we could move these guys in. Can we do Mind Burn? I don't think I have it researched yet. I could do Baby Air Elementals. Those are not going to do good against Atlantis stuff. Can we do Lightning Bolt or something? I don't know. I don't love this, and I need to figure out how this will do. I mean, this is probably more gold than he's bringing, but if he moves everybody, that could be a problem. The other thing I can do is I can just let him raid, but I don't want to do that. But the problem is I get defeated in detail. So that's kind of the cool thing about this, is with this move, he's inviting me to separate my army. And it's not really something I want to do. Not really something I want to do. I mean, the other thing that I can do is I can move this army potentially up here and then threaten to take this back the next turn. I mean, that might be the safer move. That might be the safer move. But I don't know. The problem if I do that, he's either going to take it this turn or he's not. Yeah, I don't think I'd do that. I think I maybe put him here and then do Sermon of Courage, Holy Avenger, attack rear. Something like that, maybe. And then I might need... Thing is, I don't want to take away my crossbows, because if he attacks here, I'm going to need crossbows. How many does that leave me with from Malia Druzina here? The other reason I'm kind of not super stoked to get... Oh, wait, are these guys coming in? Okay. The other reason I'm not super stoked to leave Malia Druzina here is just the friendly fire that's caused. The friendly fire can be super intense. But, like, I could probably move... What's the siege strength on these guys? It's only 1.2. And so this is going to be under the 100 supply. If I move all my Malia Druzina out, it's possible this whole thing just crumples without the Malia Druzina. I don't really think so. I think we'll be fine, sort of. Because you're still going to have the Epbark spam and all of that. I don't think they can take this. Yeah, I think just the Epbark spam with this many crossbows and stuff, I think we'll be fine. And we're going to have Strength of Giants and all our mages. The question, though, is... I think I want to have a thin line to fill in gaps in this, too. Like that. And this way, we should get a good... wrap around on the corners, crush the corners, kind of work our way inwards a little bit. That seems pretty okay to me. Put this guy here, maybe. I don't like that I have no mage support in that, though. But there's not too much to be done about it. I mean, we could pick up Thom 2 and move these guys and just have them go off-script casting Mind Burn. I mean, we could even give them a gem so they do Power the Spheres. And then Mind Burn would be probably their thing of choice. Though they may do... Lightning Bolt may be better, actually. Yeah. For one of them. So we may do this. I may do, like, Power the Spheres. I think we'll do this, because I don't feel comfortable... You know, just sending them in without any mage support, because what's going to happen if the lance charges don't work, my guys are not going to really be doing much damage with their swords. So I think having these guys just do Power the Spheres and then advance and cast spells, I think this probably is the best thing for them. And then we're going to have this guy probably casting Lightning Bolt, especially on the worm. And then him casting Lightning Bolt, plus the fact that it's in Friendly Dominion, he's not going to be able to regen very much. And then this guy doing Power of the Spheres. I think Power of the Spheres, he's not going to do advance. He's just going to do spells. And this should just Mind Burn people, I think. And I can probably put him back here. Or there's not going to be anything to distract him from just casting Mind Burn every turn. And, you know, they might get a few kills, which would be good. The other thing, I don't think I mentioned this, but it's affecting my turn order some, is we're sending 1,000 gold to Raga. And why are we sending it? I think I did mention it. Yeah, we're paying, they can't trace any income, and so they're sending us for this 40 gold. So that's at the exchange rate of 25 gold per gem. Which I certainly can't afford to give him a better rate than that. I had to turn off all my unit production and stop a temple to send him this. So Yeah, this guy was going to build a temple this turn. It's like, oh, no, 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 no. Yeah, that helps us, I think, with many things. One, from maybe slowing the birds down a little bit. And two, we desperately need those fire gems. So I would make that deal probably no matter what. I mean, I don't think I would want to make it at a much higher gold rate, but I think that's a fair price. Yeah, so anyway, next turn, hopefully there's not a bad battle here and not a bad battle here. And from that point, hopefully we are ready to storm the fort. And I think storming the fort, I don't actually think we need... I don't think we really need the cav at all. I think storming the fort, we just... I don't think I have any cav left here. I think we've gotten rid of all of them. Yeah, I think storming the fort, we just shoot everything. We shoot all the archers, and then once the wall archers run, then we're going to be left shooting the other things. And we're going to have all these priests banishing stuff, so if he's making long dead, that's not going to matter. I think that's just going to be a wipe. So that is the play. The thing I don't want to have happen is for him to get here and me to still have one more turn to sit on the fort, and I definitely don't want to attack into him when he could potentially PD dump, if that's the thing he's doing. So I don't want to have him get here and then be able to raid other places, and then I'm sitting around having to chase him with a big enough army to show him some respect when I want to be getting ready for my next war. So yeah. Our income is super high. I mean, our upkeep is super high, by the way. We're already at 1,100 upkeep. That's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. But we've been making units everywhere you can make units, and this is what happens when you do that. But we're getting ready. Oh, wait, did I not do this? Oh, shit. I was going to ping, but then I set this guy to patrol. Yeah, let's ping this. I want to see what's here, because potentially next turn we can take this. And that's why I'm getting a commander here, so we can have a good guy to lead these dudes into action. And yeah, potentially we can get this throne. So that will be real nice. And yeah, I think that's it, guys. So kind of not a super long episode, but a bunch of interesting things happen. There's probably other interesting things happening all over the world that I don't even know about. So yeah, thanks again to you guys for watching, and thanks to everybody in the game playing, and see you all next time.